Hi, everyone. It's Presley Patrick, your current Miss Grand Strand. And for my community service initiative, I have my initiative titled Strength and Stories Sharing Paths to Resilience. And I am very proud to announce that my second guest is Shambi Broome, who is the executive director of Webgyrlz Code. So, Shambi, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, thank you for having me. So my name is Shambi Broome and I'm a mom. I'm a web developer. I also own a small web agency, J&B Designs, where we work with small businesses with their websites. And of course, I'm the founder of Webgyrlz Code, where we focus on giving girls and women superpowers through computer science. And we use web design, app design, game design, animation, and AI to do that.
Awesome. So, can you tell us a little bit about the backstory of how you founded Webgirls Code?
Yeah, definitely. So when my oldest daughter was in fourth grade, I was asked if I could volunteer in the classroom to help the kids build Google Sites to show their work to their parents. So of course I was like, yeah, I'll do that. And when I was in the classroom, there was a lot of repetitive steps, and I would say, okay, what do we do next? And the boys would just like blurt out the answers, or they jump out of their chairs and their hands were raised, and the girls were just sitting there quiet, not participating. And I would walk around the classroom and I'm like, they're one or two steps ahead of where we already are. And I just had a flashback to how I was in school. I was that girl that I might know the answers, but I wasn't going to speak up. And that kind of started the idea of, wouldn't it be great if girls had a safe space to learn about technology where they kind of weren't outshined by the boys in the classroom? So that, along with the fact that I was also substitute teaching at the time, and I was working in a classroom where the kids had to do a research paper. And the teacher left instructions. They could do a traditional paper, they could do a slide deck, or they could do a web page. So I'm like, perfect day for me to be here. And there was a group that wanted to build a web page. So I was trying to help them. And by the end of class, they're like, forget it. They were frustrated. They're like, we're just going to do a research paper. And that made me realize that the teacher assumed, because they use technology, because they use websites every day, that they would be able to figure out how to build one. And I thought, wouldn't it be great if those kids had learned in elementary school how to
Mhm.
build a website? By the time they got to middle school, it would have been like an awesome project for them to do. So those two experiences is really what started the idea of Webgyrlz Code, creating the safe space for females to learn about computer science.
I love that that was something that you saw firsthand and that was something that you could relate to and that's why you started this. Like I feel like that's such a great way to get involved because you know how it is yourself. So that's amazing and I really commend you for that. This is such an amazing organization. So my second question for you is can you tell us a bit more about the unique curriculum of Web Girls Code and how it makes learning web coding fun for girls in elementary school through high school?
Yeah, definitely. Well, I'm a very visual learner, and that's kind of the foundation of the curriculum. When I started writing it, is I wanted to be able to explain hard programming concepts visually in a simple way.
Mhm.
So our flagship curriculum is our web development, and it's very visual. We go step by step through it, and I associate everyday things with parts of the programming language and parts of the context, the content. And with, being a female, having daughters, I pull a lot of those things in, getting ready for a party, having to pick out, a purse, or, just being creative. So a lot of those things I know resonate with females is incorporated into our curriculum to really help girls connect to it.
Gotcha. That's awesome. So how does Web Girls Code work with school districts to offer its program as a club or an after-school class?
Yeah, I'm somebody that asks a lot of questions.
Mhm.
So when I first, meet with the school district or they reach out to me, I'm always like, well, just kind of tell me, what are you looking for? What are your needs? Because my goal is to take our curriculum and be able to cater it to each school or each district. And a lot of times they will already have the grant money or the funds to be able to bring us in and pay for the programs. But we've also had the opportunity where we actually had a grant,
Mhm.
and we knew there was a high school where the teachers were like, we need our kids to have real world experience. We're teaching them how to work with, build web pages, but we don't really know how it connects. So we actually had the grant and we're able to partner with the school to be able to bring a program into them.
Gotcha. So if you don't mind me asking, how many schools currently offer Webgirlz code as part of their curriculum?
So we when we partner with the different schools, so for one of the high schools in Columbia, Ridgeview, we actually worked on with them over 2022, 2023 on a project, and now we're actively working to get that as a permanent club in the school for the kids to keep learning and growing that in the community. And then this summer, we're partnering with Richland School District 2 in Columbia, and we'll be bringing our AI summer camps as part of the DODEA grant to one of their elementary schools in the month of June. So those are our active partnerships right now.
Awesome. So let's see, what do I have here? What are the benefits of incorporating coding education into the school extracurricular activities? What would you say some of those benefits are?
Yeah, a lot of times people just picture somebody like on a computer typing away, crazy and thinking, well,
Mhm.
maybe there's not really skills in that. But what I look at with any type of computer science and what I see with our students is leadership is the first thing that stands out to me. When you empower anyone, and especially kids, to see that they can create, we've had a club one time on day one. I asked the girls to write down on a card how would they describe themselves, and I collected the cards. And some of them said, shy or not, I'm an introvert, those type of descriptions. But within a few club meetings, those were the same girls that were like jumping up and helping their friends in the class and helping other students that were stuck. So I think it's important because the life skills that students gain, they're going to get leadership skills, computational thinking, problem solving. And these are things that go beyond just programming. These are the future leaders, and we need them to be able to solve problems. And they can learn that when they're working out bugs in their code or figuring out why a game's not working. So there's so many more life skills that come when computer science and coding is part of the curriculum of schools.
See, I love that because that's one of the reasons why I got involved in pageantry was because I was that shy, introverted girl growing up that in particular situations, I really felt like I wasn't in my comfort zone. And then pageantry really brought me out of my shell. And even in pageantry now, we're seeing a lot of girls in STEM. It's a very popular talent or just community service initiative we're seeing. So I love seeing girls get more involved in that because I do believe that this is something that females need to get more involved with. Like women in STEM, come on. Like
Yeah.
how could you not?
Yeah, the power that comes from creating, I think that's
Mhm.
really what it comes down to. When
Absolutely.
you get to be creative, that's so empowering, and you're like, wow, the sky's the limit.
Mhm. So could you walk us through a day in the coding camps offered by you guys on Saturdays?
Yeah, so traditionally our Saturday camps are web development camps, and
Okay.
normally we run from like 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And we'll open things up at 9:30, have a light breakfast to get everybody's brains kind of ready to learn.
Mhm.
And we start at the basics. Like I tell everyone who comes to our web development camps, whether they're a kid or an adult, is you don't have to know anything about coding.
Mhm.
So we start with even like, what is a web page? What is this programming language called HTML?
Mhm.
And get them familiar with that. And within the first lesson, they've already coded like one line of code to get their page to talk back to them and say, hello, world. And we build off of those lessons. So eventually they're adding a paragraph, then a second paragraph, then images, and then they're styling their paragraphs. How do you bold the text? And, let's add a border. And, if you need to put data on the page, let's create a table. And finally, let's put this all in a container so you can understand how you can lay your page out. So they come in with a blank page, is how I say it, and they leave with a USB drive with their code. Everything is all text code.
Mhm.
They take the USB drive home, and our goal with that is because I want this to be something that the student can keep working on and can keep learning and can go out there and find YouTube videos and keep adding to their code.
Oh, I love that. They get to take it home. That's
Yes.
awesome. So it doesn't just stay on the Saturday. They get to take it with them throughout and keep working on it.
Yes.
I love that. That's awesome. So how do you all adapt your program to accommodate the unique needs and different schedules with the schools and organizations?
Yeah, so again, that goes back to those initial like line of questioning that I always ask. And what I love about how our curriculum is set up is We can work with whether it's just a one day, like a Saturday camp. We've worked with schools where we come in for a whole week, like 1 hour a day, whether it's during school or after school.
Mhm.
What I love is there are so many schools that will have clubs once a month during school time
Mhm.
because they know not every student can stay after school. And I love how they're really trying to give these students these experiences. So
Mhm.
we've worked with schools where we've been there the entire school year
Okay.
and we come in one day a month and we do each of our lessons and build each month on that lesson. So the students get the full experience just over that longer period of time. So that's always my goal is, is tell us what you need. We will make it work.
I love that. That's amazing. So, can you share some success stories or memorable moments from some of your participants in Webgirlz Code?
Yeah, I was like, I've got to narrow this down because I'll go like crazy with it.
There's so many. So
Yeah.
many talented.
So some that really stand out to me are um, two young ladies that started with us in elementary school, like 8, 9 years old, and now they're high school graduates. And what was so awesome to see with their progression through our program is when we started offering scratch programming, which allows you to be more creative. They're both artistic, and they learned that they could take their hand drawings,
Mhm.
take a picture, upload it into the Scratch program, and then use code to animate it. And that got them into animation and digital art. And now, like, I go to their Instagram and I see they're taking commissions, they're digital artists.
Yeah.
One will be graduating this year at the end of the year with an associate's in illustration degree. And just to see that because they got that exposure in elementary school, it stayed with them and they were confident and knew what they wanted to do. And then one more I'll share, an amazing young lady who came to us during the pandemic. And I love what her mom said. Of course, when pandemic struck, we went virtual and she was looking for something. And she's like, when we found your camps, we had no idea our daughter was interested in computer science.
Mhm.
And she's like, and now we look at her and we had no idea she was so good at it. When she went to 8th grade, she joined her robotics team. I think they went to nationals and she's done computer science summer camps. And what was awesome, the project we had with the high school kids, she actually came in the summer before she was even in 8th grade and helped us set up the computer software, the database, all of that to get
Mm.
it ready for the high school kids. So just again, when you start young and seeing how just those different experiences really help them find who they were and their footing and their confidence to continue with computer science and technology.
Absolutely. I mean, this program has helped girls find their true passion in life, what
Yeah.
they want to do with their careers. And for you to even say that they're coming back to help because it changed their lives so much that they want to help others, that's a testament to how well this organization has shaped their lives. And that's amazing. So, can you tell me how has Webgirlz evolved since its start? What are some changes that have happened over the years?
Yeah, it's really been amazing. When I first started, in fact, we even got the seed money for the organization. I did a pitch competition, and it was all based on web development because that's my love, that's my passion.
Yes.
And so to see, we started with just offering that, and then it's organically like the kids have pushed us and the community has pushed us because once the kids would do our web development, they're like, okay, we want to learn how to build apps. And so
Mm.
it's like, oh, okay, well, we got to have an app curriculum. And then, after they did that, it was like, okay, what else do you have for us? So they've kind of pushed our programming and our curriculum based on what they wanted to learn, coupled with we look at what's going on in the world today when it comes to technology. So the fact that we were able to pilot an AI summer camp last year, and we get to run that same summer camp with the school district this year, being able to adapt. So I would never in a million years have thought we would have gone beyond web development,
Mhm.
but just the different with software development in general and programming, being able to offer this full package has been amazing, and listening to our students to see what they want.
Absolutely. So with that being said, what are some key milestones or successes that you guys have reached along the way?
Yeah, definitely. I would say it has to be that the web development curriculum, I always associate it to basic math, like that 1+1. Basic math never changes. And I love the fact that we've used the same curriculum and it still works. And it gives that foundation for students to just get used to the idea of looking at computer programming. And so I think that's like a huge win. But what I see and what I love from last year, and we're carrying it over and growing, is the fact that we now have a linear path to a nonlinear way into a tech career, because we've grown to where now we have our software engineer bridge program,
Mhm.
which allows us to now take adult learners
Okay.
and mentor them to through the SC Codes platform to
Mhm.
get their front end certification,
Okay.
with the goal of then helping them qualify for a paid apprenticeship.
Oh, wow.
So I think the huge thing for us is, before it was kind of just like a one-off, like come to our Saturday camp. But
Mhm.
now it's no, we have programming to take you from elementary school to high school,
Mhm.
and you can come in at any of those points, or even if you're an adult, come see us for our web development. And
Mhm.
now we can work with you to the goal of getting you to become a junior software engineer. So that's been like the biggest thing, it got me excited, and we started working on that last year.
Absolutely. So you started Webgirlz Code because this was something that you felt like you went through growing up, that this was a role that you wanted for other girls to have. So overall, what role does Webgirlz Code play in promoting diversity and inclusion in the tech industry, specifically for women in STEM?
Yeah, I think one thing I've learned in this process is, it's so true that if you don't see someone that looks like you, it's hard to imagine yourself being in a position or doing something that you love. So, what I
Mhm.
think is huge is, not just myself, but most of our instructors are female or they're minority. And to be able to have a room full of girls and women see someone that looks like them and not feel intimidated and be like, oh my goodness, if she can do it, I can do it. And
Mhm.
if we look at, 51% of the American population is female,
Mhm.
about 27% roughly is work in tech. And then when you look at the minority numbers, it's usually single digits.
Mhm.
And I think that's the thing that's been huge for us in bridging that gap. I had a parent who, at the end of his daughter's virtual class, he said, I love this because I love that she got to see you teaching this, someone that looks like her. And I think that's one of the biggest things when it comes to any type of STEM career, is if you see someone that you feel you can identify with,
Mhm.
then that helps a student to say, if they did it, I can do it.
Absolutely. So you have female instructors, you have diverse instructors. How also do you have fostering supportive learning? How, sorry, I'm tongue tied here. I'm going to edit that out. How also do you foster a supportive learning environment for your participants? How are other ways that you do that?
Yeah, one thing that I always do normally before I interact with most people, but especially in a class setting, like I'll say a prayer, help me to be respectful and kind. And
Mm.
that's the goal of I put in a classroom. I instill that into my instructors, and I specifically look for people I know are going to be respectful and kind, because we've all probably been in a learning environment where we felt like we couldn't ask questions because we would be made to feel dumb if we asked a question, or we didn't feel that we could make a mistake. And so we thought we had to be perfect. And so I want to erase all that. And students probably get tired of me and our instructors throughout the lessons. Like when I train my instructors, I'm always saying, ask, does anybody have any questions?
Mm.
And we ask that a lot because I want the students to know questions are good. If
Yeah.
you're stuck, it's good. We're
Mhm.
constantly in person, we're roaming the classroom looking to see if someone's just sitting there and not speaking up, and
Mhm.
going to them. And what I love about that, what you organically see happen in the classroom, is you'll start seeing other students looking at their neighbors and looking around, and
Mhm.
seeing if they can help, or if they hear a kid say, well, I don't understand, if one of the instructors can't get to them, that kid's jumping up, running over there. So we try to be that example, take away all those worries of you can't ask a question or say you don't understand something. And then we want to other students to see, yeah, jump up and go do it. And just real quick, an example is we had a class, and it was an all girls class, but the mom said, hey, her brother really wants to come. Can he come? And I'm like, if he doesn't mind being the only boy, sure. And he came, And I didn't know at the time that he had some learning disabilities and some behavioral things going on. And through the class, sometimes he would just get up and walk around, and I let him, get his energy out. And then all of a sudden, and he was struggling with the coding, but then all of a sudden we got to a particular lesson and he just like zoned in and was
Locked in.
coding faster than everybody. And I
Nice.
was just like, oh my goodness. So when his mom came to pick him up, she explained some of his learning issues. And
Mhm.
I'm like, you know what? He was awesome. He was fine, but it just clicked with him. And so that's always the goal is I want anyone who comes to feel, comfortable. We've worked with students that have learning disabilities, ADHD, different things, and they pick it up because it's all about being making you feel comfortable and good about what you're learning.
Absolutely. I love that that's how you look at it because I remember when I was taking my computer class in high school that I never asked any questions. I had a male professor. He was a sweet guy. Would never say anything bad about him. He was amazing, but I never felt comfortable enough to say, I don't know what I'm doing. I would always turn to my neighbor and say, can you please help me with this? I need help. So I love that that's what you focus on because I feel like that's how kids fall behind is they're too afraid to ask questions and they're too embarrassed. They're afraid that they're not going to get answered. And that having that focus is going to drive those kids to keep going. They're going to know I can ask questions. It's okay to not know what's going on because that's how you learn. You learn from figuring it out. So I love that because I wish I would have had someone do that to me when I was in high school.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I hope more, instructors and teachers understand that in their classrooms.
Absolutely. So looking ahead, what are the future goals and aspirations for Web Girls Code? What do you have planned for us?
Yeah, so I'm really excited about the initiatives we started working on last year to really strengthen those and grow those this year and going forward. So that's one, our Mommy and Me web development boot camps. So it's taking a two-generational approach to learning.
Oh,
And the goal is to have mothers, daughters, granddaughters, and grandmas, aunties. It's just we want an adult learner.
the whole family.
Yeah, we want that mix of women in there with their, young lady with them. And the goal is one, if you, live in the same home, you're going to go home and you've got something in common and you can keep learning together and encourage one another. And
Mhm.
then with the adult learners, our goal is, finding those women maybe who never had those opportunities to learn and give them this taste of computer programming. And if they like it, that's when we want to put them in our software engineer bridge program, which is the other program we want to work on strengthening and growing, where again, we give them that support with the goal of helping them get a paid apprenticeship. And the other thing we started working on last year is expanding in the state. We have a really strong hold in the Midlands and the Columbia metro area and really wanting to go out beyond to other counties. So last year we did go to Chester County,
Okay.
Lawrence County, and Sumter County. This year, our goal is to make it to Allendale and Marion County and really go to those communities that may not be able to offer computer science maybe in their schools or just as other programs in the community. So that's where we're going and growing what we're doing throughout the state. So I'm really excited for that.
Well, I personally hope to see you in Horry County because I would love to stop by for one of your classes because that would be amazing. Because I would love how to code myself if you would have me. I've always been interested in it, but
Yes, and that's kind of the reason with our web development camps. A few years ago, a little bit before the pandemic, we started offering ladies only for that very reason. We
yeah,
had a lot of like moms and teachers and people in the community like, what about us? We want to
I
learn.
want to
And
learn.
yeah, so we do that one day to give you that taste, and you might be like, oh my goodness, this is amazing. I want to continue. Or we had like small business owners who maintain their own websites, and during the break, one was like fixing her website, and she's like, oh my goodness, I finally fixed this. I haven't been able to do this. I didn't know what to do. So yeah, you are welcome, definitely.
Oh my gosh, I love that. I love that so much. So, is there anything that I missed that you would like to add in? Anything you'd like to add for all the people out there watching? Anything you want to add in?
Yeah, well, I definitely appreciate you reaching out. And I think the biggest message I have is we all have to kind of figure out how to fill this gap in technology. And if there's enough people working on it, we can fill that gap a lot sooner.
Mhm.
And the goal comes down to helping females and especially girls see themselves as part of the tech community. And if you start young, that's where that confidence is built up. And I want girls to start, learning early so that when they get to middle school and high school and maybe it's not as cool or people say stuff, I want them to be like, I don't care, I'm good at this. So
Mhm.
that's like the goal that we have is building that confidence, not just giving them the programming skills, but the life skills to be successful.
Absolutely. Shambi, I just want to take the time to thank you so much. When I found your nonprofit on Miglin Gibbs, I said, this is perfect. This is what I want. And I am so honored that you took the time to come on here and let me interview you. I know that we have so many women in STEM in the pageant community, and that this is such an inspiring organization. And I hopefully it's something that they want to get involved in. I mean, to all my ladies in STEM out there watching, this is your girl right here. Like,
Yes,
Miss
reach
Shambi,
out.
like this is her. So I just want to thank you so much because it truly means the world to me. That's why I started this initiative is because so many nonprofits are they don't have enough funding. They go without notice. And this is a nonprofit that deserves so much recognition because you truly do so much hard work and it deserves to be recognized. So I just want to thank you for first of all being here with me and talking to me, but second of all for all the hard work you do because you are truly a remarkable woman and you deserve so much praise for all you do. So thank you.
Oh, you are welcome, and thank you for having me.
Course. So that is it for our interview. I hope you guys enjoyed it and stay tuned for our next one.